So you started off because I was like, define wokeness. Define this topic because it's so freaking broad. You put wokeness has gone too far because progressives are really bad at engaging other people in conversation topics. I think that there's like way too much of like an ideological orthodoxy that's like enforced around any area that progressives get their hand on. Go. That's what you said.
Yeah, I think the topic was probably too broad, but I think the broad point that I'm getting at is the idea that progressives seem to be like highly intolerant of like opposing points of views, and they'll use like whatever kind of power they have to kind of like press out or push out like other points of views in any areas that they have a lot of power over, and that's worrying to me. That's like broadly what the thing was.
When I asked you to concretely define wokeness,
I'd say like progressive.
You ended up using the word woke within the definition.
Well, sure.
No, you can't do that.
Well, you also said Brett Weinstein wanted to talk about race realism, which wasn't true either. So here we are. You're asking if you want to debate the guy in the video, you can go and look at the transcript and write an essay to him. But I'm here to tell you what I mean right now. It's up to you.
So you don't. What do you think the implication was when Brett Weinstein said, "Let's pull up the emails"?
Apparently, what he wanted to talk about was.
I have the emails. You want me to read it?
Yeah, sure. Can you link me?
Yeah, sure. If there was interest in a public presentation and discussion of race through a scientific/evolutionary lens, I would be quite willing to organize such an event. It's material I've taught in my own programs and guest lectured on at Evergreen and elsewhere. You also claim that students wanted to force white people off the campus, which just isn't true.
So real quick, wait, whoa. Okay, so let's do one thing at a time. So for this one, if there was an interest in a public presentation and discussion of race through a scientific/evolutionary lens, I'd be quite willing to organize such an event. It is material I have taught in my own program and guest lectured at Evergreen and elsewhere. So my understanding is that what he's talking about here actually has to do with like in-group, out-group preferences, those types of things. It wasn't race realism.
Why is that your understanding of what he's saying?
I'm going to employ a little bit of common sense here, and I'm going to say that in the bracketed part afterwards, he says, it is material I have taught in my own programs and guest lectured on at Evergreen and elsewhere. I'm going to guess that those programs and guest lectures weren't about race realism. That's just a guess, but pretty sure that's probably going to be the
context of this correspondence goes beyond just the next sentence that he says, where he's claiming that he's taught the material before. It's in opposition to his disagreement with this day of absence slash day of presence that he doesn't like.
So I still think my reading is better. I doubt he's going to go and teach race realism. Like today, we're going to learn about the warrior gene. I don't think he's ever. No. I could be wrong, but I feel like if he taught race realism, I feel like that's something I probably would have heard about in all the discourse. I don't think he's ever taught race realism before.
I know, but first he mischaracterized the event as like kind of like what you said, where like, oh, he wants to force what, like these activists, this group want to force white people off the campus, even though it wasn't mandatory and like it's voluntary if students or faculty wanted to participate in the first place. And the like day of absence, it was not like a day free of white people as I had remembered it to be. It was like a lot more pulled back. It was literally just like different workshops that were held about, I guess, like race and maybe historical injustices of the college, something like that, where one of the workshops was traditionally held off campus. And that was where like minority students typically attended that first presentation. And then for the day of presence, which would be the next day, they would like return to the campus.
Sure. So let's one at a time. So for the first thing, is your only contention going to be that they weren't actually forced and they were just asked?
I mean, I don't have a contention with that. What's wrong with that?
Well, if you're going to have contention with that, I mean, Brett agrees with you, but I don't know if that's really relevant.
No, I just said I don't have contention with it.
Oh, okay. So then in that case, there was a day where they asked white people not to go to school.
No, they explained that the nature of this program was that traditionally it's not even like white people. It just says, let me see. It's like majority group or something like that.
What does that mean? That sounds like white people. No?
But even Rashida Jones, what's her name? No, Rashida Love says, because of the need for a dedicated space to explore issues of diversity within each of these two perspectives, each program has been designed with a specific community building objective in mind. And because many of us are mixed and may not wholly identify ourselves with one community or the other, we invite each person to attend the program of their choice, wherever they feel most comfortable.
I understand that those words are being used, and I hate that I have to say this now, but I don't really trust progressives at their words. You kind of have to see how it plays out. It's kind of like how when I read some of the text relating to CRT, it sounds good, but then when I see like a math textbook that says that black people need to learn by running around instead of like learning from textbooks because that's white supremacy, then I see that the way it plays out is a bit different. So it might be that they had like more complicated or nuanced language and their actual like guidelines, but my understanding is that it was very clearly a suggestion that white students and professors leave campus for the day. If you want, like, and we could try to find more specific language or how things played out, but like here's a New York Times article from 2017, and the opening statement is literally, it started with a suggestion that white students and professors leave campus for a day, a twist on a tradition of black students voluntarily doing the same. It could be that you could show me something different. Maybe this New York Times article has it wrong, but this has always been my understanding of it. I see in a New York Times article here.
I mean, you're trusting the New York Times' like editorialization and characterization of the events, and that's one way to look at it. But why not look at the emails and look directly at the correspondence and explanation of the program?
If you want to show me emails from people inside, sure. Here's a Wall Street Journal article saying the same. The school's negative notoriety dates to spring of 2017.
Wait, what do you mean emails from inside?
I said there's an article from the Wall Street Journal saying the same. In 2017, when students and staff requested
No,
that
you
white
said
people,
if you want to show me emails from inside.
If we want to show me emails that prove what you're saying, sure, but it can't be like a statement of like...
No, I sent you those. The correspondence between Rashida Love and Brett Weinstein.
Okay, can you... is that all the emails that you showed me? Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, this is 35 pages of emails. What do you want me to look at?
First ones are the ones that explain the program and have the like contentious correspondence between the two of them.
And you want me to go by just the first email that was sent?
That's where she characterizes the day of absence and day of presence.
I'm trying to read this, but it's hard to understand.
Where in the email are whites asked to leave the campus?
Well, if whites aren't asked to leave, then why was anybody mad at Brett?
That's what we're trying to get to the bottom of. Exactly. That's the thing to me that's like really unfortunate is that like on his media tour or whatever, everybody just kind of uncritically accepted his retelling and reframing of the story and took him at his word. Like you were just saying earlier, you were hesitant to take Rashida Love just at her word, but like just moments earlier, you had been doing just that with Brett.
Well, no, I was doing with Brett and the reaction to Brett being there. If there was no problem with Brett being on campus,
Sunday.
then I don't know.
Like you were being more
having this intellectual
hold on 1 second. I have wait, hold on.
Could have gotten outputted by my superior.
Okay, sorry, fucking retard, don't know. Okay, hold on. Let me. If we're reading emails, then give me a moment to actually read.
Yeah. Show them on screen.
As I go through, because there's 35 pages here, but I'm like reading through paragraphs. Personally, I think the role reversal of this year's date of DOA, date of absence, is brilliant in that it encourages Evergreen's white population to take accountability for their active participation in unlearning racial prejudice in a way that staying on campus wouldn't. It kind of sounds like they want them to leave, but I'll keep going through emails. That was on page 6.
Voluntary.
Yeah, okay, but I asked you earlier, is it whether or not it's voluntary or forced? Is that your issue? Because if that, we can move on to that. If you agree that they
I'm
were
saying that sounds
asked,
like it's your issue, like that.
Yeah, I would always say, I would have the same, well, not the same, but I'd have a similar issue if it was voluntary or forced. The same that if there was a voluntary day where we encouraged like black people or Asian people not to go to school, I would have an issue with that.
Well, they weren't just not going to school, right? Like they were going off campus or whatever